50 gigabytes. That's the amount of gigabytes that Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered took on my PlayStation 4. To put that into perspective, Marvel's Spider-Man took 45 gigabytes. That's right, an open world game that takes 17 hours to beat and 35 hours to 100% somehow took less space on my hard drive than a 6-hour, mostly linear campaign. Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Activision. You have tens of millions of dollars from copies sold and microtransactions. You could at the least invest in some optimization. That way, everyone can enjoy Call of Duty and not just sweaty tryhards who only play COD like their lives depend on it. Sorry for that rant, I just wanted to vent my frustrations. Anyway, back to the video. How did Russia invade America so easily? If you look at real life, despite Russia having every advantage in terms of economy, natural resources, and military might, Ukraine is holding its own against the Russians. They were able to reclaim areas taken by the Russians, such as Kherson. In addition, this isn't a sea invasion by the Russians. Whilst I'm not an expert on war, that invasion would be easier as you can deploy more troops and ground vehicles. In fact, if you look at real life, even the United States fails with its sea invasions like the Bay of Pigs. Yet in Modern Warfare 2, Russia takes over the goddamn White House. They practically stole the entire eastern seafront. In Modern Warfare 3, they were able to take over New York City. The situation was so dire that they had to move the president to a doomsday bunker in Colorado, and they were going to level Washington DC, destroying the White House in the process. Even if Russia had the element of surprise thanks to the downed ACS module, the US, with its military equipment and array of personnel, should have been able to handle an amphibious and aerial assault. Yet the US military was constantly on the back foot until the EMP. Literally, all of Washington DC would have gone the way of the dodo were it not for the nuke launched by Price. Well, I think 2 lines of dialogue explain it perfectly.
5 years ago, I lost 30,000 men in the blink of an eye. And the world just watched. Tomorrow, there will be no shortage of volunteers, no shortage of patriots.
He's talking about the nukes in COD 4. If you remember, the US Marines were deployed in the Middle East to kill Khaled al-Assad, who you can think of as a discount Saddam Hussein. However, after the nuke went off, killing all those troops, in all likelihood, all the military operations by the USA would have been cancelled and abandoned. But consider this, Price and his team were able to locate and kill al-Assad, and he was nowhere near where the US military was located. He was in Azerbaijan. To put it simply, a small SAS team were able to complete a task that 30,000 men and potentially trillions of dollars were not able to do. In all likelihood, between the 5 years of Modern Warfare 1 and 2, there would have been less enlistment and funding to the US military, as the events of COD 4 showed that they were incompetent and a waste of money. Why should people join and participate in military interventions in other parts of the world when said organization got blown to smithereens? Why should US taxpayer money go to something that's ultimately redundant and mediocre?
Mediocre?
All this would have led to the US military to become considerably weaker, which would have pissed off Shepard, so for the US military to return to its former glory, he effectively put the US and Russia into a new Cold War. The high tensions between the US and Russia due to no Russian and the Russian invasion would make more people enlist in the military and give the military more funding. Shepard used Makarov as a scapegoat for the US invasion, where in reality, Shepard was the one responsible for allowing Private Allen to be part of the Zakhaev airport massacre and for tipping off Makarov.
General Shepard, you warned us. We should have listened.
When they speak of this moment, we will not be the ones who stood guard while America died. One man is responsible for all this. Makarov must be brought to light.
When playing the campaign when I was younger, for the longest of times, I did not know how or why Russia invaded the US so easily and took over the entire eastern seaboard. But after giving it some thought, now it does make more sense if you consider the events from COD 4. This is Zach, not Zach, signing off. Please remember to like, favorite, and subscribe.